Hi, since the video I wanted to release today is taking a little bit longer than I would like, I'm just gonna go ahead and make a quick little video talking about my thoughts on the new Overwatch season. If you don't know, which you probably don't because it doesn't have that many views, but that's okay. I streamed the release of Overwatch 2 Season 10, and I played for a couple hours, and it was a lot of fun. And I feel like in those couple hours, I was able to digest pretty much everything that I needed to digest for the season to make a quick little video on it, on my thoughts. And overall, my thoughts on the season are actually pretty positive. I like pretty much everything that the season's doing, pretty much. There are a few things that aren't as good. There's still some bad, but it's mostly good. It's lots and lots of good. And I'm going to start with a few of the balance changes that I've liked. Some notable ones are the Rhine buff. I think it's pretty okay. I mean, I'm never going to say no to a powerful Shatter. I think Rhine's Shatter should be powerful. But I think he needs a little bit more help than that, honestly. I don't think just buffing Earth Shatter is going to make Rhine a viable pick most of the time. I think he's still very, very matchup based, and if you're not fitting into those matchups, I still think he isn't the greatest option. So, yeah. Junker Queen's buff, though. Buffing Carnage, I really like that buff. I've played around with that buff a bit this season. And I think Carnage feels really good to use. Previously, I really didn't think Carnage was that good, didn't feel that good to use. I thought it was kind of unresponsive because it was like this big X swing. It didn't really do that much damage. But they've buffed the damage on it, and I think it's a lot better now. And I really like how Junker Queen feels this season. Also, my cat was just rubbing against the computer, so I'm sorry if that ended up making noise on your end, but anyway. The ball rework, I absolutely love the ball rework. The ball rework is fantastic. It's probably my favorite thing about this entire update. The adaptive shield rework is great. I think it was actually really smart. It rewards Ball for not necessarily sticking with his team all the time, but still not leaving them in the dust. Like, he can just stick, he can just get with his team, use the adaptive shield, and then he can go back to doing Ball things. It doesn't. It's this nice middle ground where it rewards Ball for, going out of his comfort zone without forcing him to permanently stay out of that comfort zone. And I think that's really smart. It adds a lot more nuance to how Ball plays. And speaking of adding nuance to how Ball plays, the retractable claw for his grappling claw, I think, is the best change they've made to a hero in the last few seasons. I'm just going to say it. It's exactly what Ball needed. I don't know why Ball didn't have a retractable ability on his grapple claw when he first came out, because it's a grapple claw. But it just gives him so much more mobility. It makes vertical mobility so much easier with him, which really makes his pile driver a lot more valuable in my opinion. And I think it's absolutely incredible. It enhances his movement so much, and I think it was great. The Sombra nerf is another thing I want to touch on. It doesn't feel really different, I'm gonna be honest. They nerfed her virus damage by 10 damage, I believe, is all they did. And it really doesn't feel that different. She just feels the same to me, really. It does make securing kills with virus a lot harder. Like, there were a lot of moments on Sombra where you wouldn't be able to secure the kill with your SMG, and you would teleport away, but your virus damage would get the kill after you teleport away. And that is less common now. But assuming you hit your shots with your SMG, you're still absolutely demolishing with Sombra. She doesn't feel very different in my opinion. Next thing, Venture. The highlight of the season. The entire season's named after Venture. I think Venture feels really good. Venture feels very capable and very strong. And one thing that isn't necessarily a problem, but it's just something I want to point out, is a lot of people already know how to play them because of the limited time trial that we got. And because of that trial, a lot of people already have a lot of experience with Venture, and they already have adjusted to their playstyle very, very well. Which means that you're already getting games with really oppressive Ventures which isn't a bad thing. I think if you're good at Venture, you should be rewarded for playing Venture. It's just really weird to see that right out the gate, because we're so used to people, not necessarily not knowing how to play characters as soon as they launch, because, not characters aren't always hard to pick up, but we're kind of used to seeing people take a day or two to learn the character, really, and then you start seeing them, demolishing all over the place. But we're getting that now with Venture, and it's not a bad thing. I think it's fine. It's just something I wanted to point out because I thought it was interesting. Venture's ult, their ultimate, feels way better with the reduced knockback. I think that was a great change. Shout out to Blizzard for that change. That was really good. And they also changed some of their damage to damage over time on their abilities, and it really doesn't feel noticeable to me. Maybe they just didn't do it. Maybe they changed their minds or something, but I don't know. The damage over time change doesn't feel very noticeable to me. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just dumb and I'm not paying attention, but I don't know. It's just something I wanted to point out too. On to Clash, the new mode that we're temporarily being allowed to play at the start of this season. I'm just gonna be very honest, Clash sucks. It's really bad. In its current state, it's really bad. I'm not saying it has potential. I'm not saying it doesn't have potential. I'm just thinking in its current build, it's really bad. I'm very glad it's an LTM because they still have time to make some adjustments to it, which is very good. It feels too arcadey. And a lot of people online are saying that might be because it's open queue and not roll queue, but I don't really know. I don't know. Something about the mode just doesn't feel like it fits with the competitive mindset that Overwatch has. It's like, it's almost impossible to bounce back once you lose the first point. Like, it feels like every time you lose the first point, you're almost guaranteed to lose the next one, or maybe even the one after that if you're unlucky. Like, it's just really hard to bounce back. You get really staggered after you lose the first point. And I think that's because objectives are just getting captured too fast. Like, you don't really have time to recoup with your team and get back to the point and have another team fight, because the points are just getting captured too fast. And I think something they can do to combat that is just making the objectives take longer to unlock. After you capture an objective, the next one has to unlock before it can be captured. And I think that if Blizzard just made that timer a little bit longer, then that could potentially fix a lot of that problem. Or maybe they could even just, make the points take longer to be captured. I think that could also be an idea. Or maybe they could do a little bit of both. I think all of those are possible things that they could do, and maybe that won't even be the outlet they take. Maybe they'll change something else about the mode, but regardless, something needs to change with the mode. There are a few positives. I like how Hanaoka, is that how you pronounce it? I hope that's how you pronounce it. I like how Hanaoka looks. I think it's a really pretty map. I like it. And I like the feature that they added of outlining the objectives through walls, so they're easier to find. I like that. And yeah, that's my thoughts on Clash, really. It's pretty bad right now, but it's a pretty good idea. It's a good idea, bad execution at the moment, but there is still time for them to turn it around. It's only a temporary trial, after all, and I'm hoping that when it releases next season, or whenever that is, that it will be in a better state. That's really everything I can think of. Oh, wait, no. The Battle Pass. Yeah, let's talk about the Battle Pass before I end off the video. I really like the Battle Pass. The Battle Pass this season is really good, and it actually is worth buying, in my opinion. The change to making the Mythics purchasable in a Mythic shop, and you unlock the currency for the Mythic shop in the Battle Pass, I think that's a weird change. I like the positives it brings, but it also just, I don't know. I don't like that it adds, like, another layer of shop to the game. Like, if that makes sense. Like, you already have the normal shop, and then you have the Battle Pass, which is kind of its own shop, because, like, you go there and, like, you level up to unlock things, and then you get those things in the Battle Pass. And, like, now there's just another layer of shop and unlockable because of the Mythic shop. And I like that you can go back and get previous Mythics, but I think it's really weird that even the current season's Mythic is locked behind the Mythic shop. I don't know. It's just a weird system to me. I'm not saying I like it or I don't like it. I think it's overall a good change. It's just a weird thing that I'm gonna have to get used to, really, that's all. My favorite skin in the Battle Pass itself is probably probably the Widow one. I really like the Widow one. The Widow one looks great. I like that it's a reference to Ana. I like that Ana and Widow have like switched lore-wise for the skin. I think that's pretty cool. And the Mythic skin, I brought it up, so let's talk about it. The Mythic skin, I think, looks great. It's one of my favorite Mythics. You know, it's Mercy. It was kind of an infinite money glitch because they know that all of the Mercy mains are going to buy the Mercy Mythic skin. And honestly, I'm not a Mercy main, but I still like Mercy. I still like playing as Mercy every now and then, so I had to. I'm not going to miss out on the Mercy Mythic. And I think it's a really good Mythic. I like the color schemes, I like the different mask options, I like the different staff options, I like everything about the skin, really. And, yeah, that's really all I wanted to talk about for the Overwatch season. Overall, positive. There are a few things that I don't like, but, you know, no season is going to be perfect. So, I think they nailed it. I think they nailed it. It's a good season. That stuff that's coming out about Blizzard banning players who swear in chat, I think that's ridiculous. I'm not going to talk about that too long. If you don't know, a few players on Overwatch 2 are getting banned because they've sworn in chat. And I think that's really stupid because characters in the game swear. So I think that's really dumb. Blizzard needs to get that together. But in terms of just what the season added, I think this season is really good so far, and I'm very excited to see what happens with the mid-season changes and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's everything I wanted to talk about with the season. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the channel before I go. Thank you a lot. Thank you so much for the... What is it? It's like 200, 300 views? Let me go look real quick. The new Retribution version 2 remix is doing fantastic on YouTube right now. And yeah, it's at 387 views. Almost 400. Wow. Oh my gosh. Almost 400 views. Thank you to everyone who watched that. That's actually insane. I never expected any of my videos to get almost 400 views, honestly. So I really appreciate that. Thank you to everyone who has watched the stream. It has a few views now after the fact. Thank you to anyone that watched the stream as well for Overwatch Season 10. And the COD video. It's a COD video, my new video essay. Spoiler if you didn't know already. It's going to be coming soon. It was meant to come out today. And I'm sorry it's not coming out today, but I decided to make this as a little sorry. So, it's going to be coming soon. It's either going to come tomorrow, late tomorrow, or it's going to come on Friday. It's going to be one of those two. Yeah, I don't know which one yet, but it will be one of those days. It's definitely coming out before the end of the week. And yeah, that's really all I wanted to talk about. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please like it, obviously, and please subscribe if you haven't already. You know, I got 400 views on that Retribution video, but I only have 14 subscribers, so, you know, most of the people that watch my videos aren't subscribed. So yeah, if you want to subscribe, please do. I would really appreciate it, and I hope to catch you in the next video. Goodbye.